works and glorify your Father. I think Apostle Paul was the one who said, you are our epistle written by our own hands. In other words, it is your lifestyle that people will see and say, this one. In fact, if you look at the origin of the word Christianity, when it was first mentioned in Antioch, in Acts of the Apostles, those people were acting like Christ. And then people looked at them and said, these guys must have been with Christ. That's where the word Christianity, that was where they were first mentioned Christian. Now you ask yourself, we in River State, do we act like Christ? Those who beat traffic light, are they acting like Christ? Those who rig elections, are they acting like Christ? So we are not a Christian state. We are a state.
Well, if you're looking at it from that perspective,
yes,
you are having an argument for spirituality as against religion. In
What's
the scheme of organized religion as an institution, not as a personal experience.
Okay.
Christianity, Islam, African traditional religion, or any other traditional, even if it's not African, whatever you spiritually subscribe to, which, constitutionally speaking, has been recognized as an institution, freedom of conscience, association, thought, and all of that, were coming from that institutional, constitutional provision of religion. Not do you act like Christ.
The truth is that the two must go together. The Constitution first and foremost said you have the right. It is Sam Oracle Chinedu that has a right to practice his or her religion, not the state. Individually, and I said we have more population of those who claim to be Christians, but don't act like they are. So in that case, are we still Christians?
Let's take the statement by the governor. He's not the first to say it. As a matter of fact,
yes, Wike said the same thing.
Yes, Wike is popular. He has said it too many times. And now
Erufai makes similar comments. Not direct, but he also says things like that.
Now that Governor Sim Fubara has said it, we don't even see it as a statement of Sim Fubara. We see it as a consolidation of Nyesom Wike's statements.
Well, if the governor wants to consolidate, let him send a bill to the State Assembly. Let them pass the bill, just like they passed the Sharia bill in the 2000s in some northern states, to say that from today, Rivers State will begin to practice Christianity has been now adopted. It becomes a law. Until then, he's just making a personal statement. Yes, he's the governor. His words has a lot of influence and power. That's why this even made headline in the first place. But the truth is that until it becomes law, and we'll see whether the Rivers State law will supersede that of the Constitution.
Are the reactions to this statement valid? Do you see them as objective criticisms of the governor's position? People who are against it and says, no, you shouldn't talk like that. Do you
Yes, I think they are being objective. They are being objective. I'm a Christian, but I wouldn't want to lord my religion over somebody else, no matter how few they are. This is a democracy. So you don't make a blanket proclamation without recourse to the minority. That is quite provocative.
All right. The governor also assured that his administration will only embark on people-oriented projects. Did not mention any religion, said people.
Yes.
We didn't make any mistake when we declared that our Christian value will be upheld. And this is just a start of it. We do not owe anybody any apology. We are a Christian state. When we started our journey, Khan was there. You stood with us in your prayers before, during, and after the election. We can't survive without your prayers. We can't survive without partnering with you.
Also speaking, the chairman of Khan in River State's Doki Bo area, Kalado Kubo, appealed for support and the reintroduction of Christian pilgrimage.
We are resolved to work with the Christian Association of Nigeria Rivers Chapter and the declaration that Rivers State is a Christian state renewed the courage and resolution of Christians in the state to continue in support for your administration and government in Rivers State. The church in Rivers State shall continue in our prayers and intercession for the success of your administration. Your Excellency, the Khan Secretariat is in a very bad state of dilapidation, and as a result, Chairman, the officers and staff of Khan do not have a place to work. We also request your kind statement of Christian pilgrimage to the Holy Land.
Okay. Now, Marcus, another thing is we must understand context. Who was he talking to? What was the event? Who was supposed to respond and react? So here's the thing. A visit by Khan, right? Christian Association of Nigeria. In that meeting, they said whatever they said, and then Rivers is a Christian state. Speaking to Khan came out. Of course, the media were there. It made news, and everybody who is not can reacted. It's similar to in the build-up to the elections, where the current president said, Emi Lokan, it is my turn, which Nigerians reacted to. But we need to remember that was an APC event. He was talking to party men, talking to delegates, talking to people that would be responsible for making him the APC candidate, so ahead of the primaries. So if you're talking to your family, people say, oh boy, now my turn, now me suppose inherit land. We now take it to the public and say, can you imagine what Marcus is saying? So does context play a part in this statement?
It does not. Sorry to say that. It doesn't. Why? Because in journalism, in media, in the media circle, it is believed that once status is conferred, one of the major roles of the mass media is status confer. You are Samora Kuchinedu. I didn't know you until you got to Nigerian Info.
Oh.
Yes, that's how unpopular you were before now.
Quite unfortunate.
But now you are very popular with over nearly 10,000 followers on Facebook and all of that.
Thank you.
You
very
need to
much.
pay Nigerian Info for that.
Thank you.
Where I'm going to is that the media confers status on people.
Okay.
So now when you are talking, especially when in your introduction, you have already identified gentlemen of the press, at that point it's no longer a family affair. Because these guys have the capacity to mass produce, mass distribute in any context at all that they feel they want to use your statements to inform the people. So if you want to do family meeting, close your doors to the media. As much as the media is there, it's no longer family but public. So now the media contributes to conferring status on a man who is now governor, and then another man who is now chairman. Two of them automatically loses privacy because whatever they do becomes public, becomes of public interest because of the position that they occupy. The moment they leave the office, they can continue to protect their private lives. So those statements are public statements, not private statements, not canned statements. And that is what it is. There is no contest to this fact. As long as the press was there, it's no longer private, neither was it a Christian meeting.
All right, we have a break coming up in a matter of seconds. Unfortunately, Ijioma's position will encourage closed-door meetings by officials in those positions, which is something the press definitely does not like. So next
Sometimes
time
they invite you, even write to you to come.
Yeah, but if it's a closed-door meeting, there will be no pressmen
there will be pressmen after the meeting. They will come and address the press at
That's
the
the idea
lobby.
behind the closed door. You wait outside the door. When they now come and say, yes, sir. What did they say? Say, well, we are doing what we can. And you know...
that
you
term,
know,
actually,
you,
that term.
You know what they tell you there? It has nothing... There's no correlation with what happened inside. So please, let's not have a lot of closed-door meetings because we would like to report what
Sincerely,
happens inside.
I'm not for the reopening of... what they call Christian pilgrimage, a tourism in disguise. It's a waste of resources. Anybody who wants to research into the history of Christianity or Judaism should go to Israel on their own expense.
We have to take that break now. It's not my show. Use and start your religious revolution.
No, I'm just
after
sorry.
the break. We continue.
Right,
Stay with
thank
us.
you.
Welcome back. It's still the front page in 92.3 Nigeria Info. This is where we take the biggest stories making headlines through the week. My guest, Marcus Ijioma, communications consultant and public affairs analyst, is still right here with me. You're welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Sam.
All right, we have began with conversations around the proclamation of Rivers State as a Christian state by the governor. We're moving next to the relevance of former politicians or politicians that do not hold positions at the moment. But I'll take some thoughts connected to the first conversation. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007 and 0817-923-0009. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. It is important that you turn off your radio as you call me. Now, the former governor of Rivers State, Wike, said he will consult with his wife and those who matter to him as to whether or not he will continue a life of service in the current government. That's, of course, if the president. Wike also said that the victory of APC candidates in last presidential election was an opportunity given to them by God to repent of their sins against Nigerians. Wike said this during a media chat in Port Harcourt. He said the APC government should be grateful for a second chance to redeem itself. The former governor faulted the PDP for failing to follow its zoning principle, which he said cost them the victory in the February 25 presidential election. He maintained that he is not afraid of the EFCC. Moving from that, the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, led the G5 group of former and current PDP governors to a meeting with President Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde told journalists after a closed-door meeting that he and his colleagues were there to convey their commitment to fairness, justice, and equity in Nigeria. Let me quickly get that. Okay.
At the G5, at the integrity group, we all came to let the president know what we stood for: fairness, justice, and equity. And we haven't changed. We're going towards Mr. President, coming with us on the route for fairness, for justice, and for equity in Nigeria.
Okay. So the governors in attendance, of course, the members of the G5, all the governors: Samuel Otom of Benue, Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. Now, Mr. Ijioma.
Yes.
Right now, Governor Nyesom Wike, former Governor Nyesom Wike, does not have any position. He might be appointed as something in President Tinubu's cabinet. But what we have right now are his statements. He's granting interviews to the press. He's saying this, saying that. He will serve in this administration if he consults with his family and they allow him, or, they give him a go-ahead. He would work for the progress of the country. Nigerians should be grateful for the opportunity that they've gotten with the victory of the APC candidate who is now our president. The PDP failed to follow its zoning principle. Statement. Using former Governor Nyesom Wike as a case study, and we're waiting to see if he's going to be appointed. What is the relevance of a former politician?
Former politician or former office holder?
Former office holder. Apologies for that.
Okay, so the little I know about leadership, it can basically be divided into three. The one we call gerontocracy, which I have that kind of thing in my family where everybody just has to listen to the oldest man. Not because he's the richest, not because he's the most intelligent or the most wise, but because of age. There are certain things you don't just challenge, because once he says so, it is so, because he's older than you. Simple. That's one leadership. The other one is influence. People who wield a lot of influence, not necessarily because they occupy any position, but because of how they have personally or indirectly impacted on your life. And then the third is where most politicians are, which is the positional leadership.
Okay.
So you are a leader by virtue of position, not because you are older than me, not because you have any influence on my life or decisions. So Governor Nyesom Wike and many other politicians who have just left office fall into that positional leadership. To some people, they are influential. To some people, they are gerontocrats. They are the leaders of their family because they are older or richer. However, they don't have any serious relevance in Nigeria without position. Most Nigerian politicians become irrelevant outside office because their impact on the lives of people could be measured by just a few people that they probably patronize or favored while in office. And even those people don't even owe them any oath of allegiance. So you see somebody who, what they say, I lifted you, I helped you, I appointed you, and all of those kinds of things, turning their back against them because that influence was conditional based on the position you occupied at the time. So you see them jostling from one position to, they just can't afford to be outside office. If you want to look at it in detail, you see that for most Nigerian politicians, not Governor Nyesom Wike alone, the moment they leave office, they start going broke. Because now they don't have access to state resources like they used to have. Everything now has to be paid for by themselves. So they quickly need another position so that government resources can continue to finance their lifestyle and the influence that they think they have. So that is just the way it is. Nigerian politicians are usually irrelevant outside office unless they get another position.
So you're saying that politicians and these office holders have been known to misappropriate funds?
They don't even have to. The way our government is structured, state and federal, is such that just by the virtue of the office you occupy, you get certain things, even the ones you didn't ask for, from people who want you to influence the decision for them, whether business-wise. It's like, if I want, let me give you an instance. If I want all the commercials in Nigeria in the next 1 week to come to Nigeria Info, what I simply do is withdraw all the operational license of all the competing stations. And for that period, anybody who has a paid announcement, since Nigerian Info is the only one approved for now, will come here, and before you know what's happening. So we see that happen in different sectors of our economy where people control monopoly of certain products because government patronize them. So, and when people patronize, when government officials ensure those kind of policies, those people that they created those window of opportunity for, give them returns, which are not even directly from the state coffers. They are just things that make, I've been very close to politicians and I see the kind of gifts they get without asking. On the news this morning, you heard that 40 vehicles were withdrawn from the CBN, the former CBN governor. I can almost tell you that more than 30 of them, probably he didn't buy them himself. They are people's bank MDs, cost people who did one or two forex rackets, if there is anyone like that allegedly, and all those kind of people. They just keep dashing you things. So they don't need to misappropriate funds to be stickingly wealthy if you're in a position in Nigeria. Most politicians in Nigeria, lawmakers, they all have heads of cattle. People dash them those cows. So you don't need to literally be corrupt. In other words, steal from the budget before you become rich. But they sure need that position to continue to remain relevant. So each time they get out of office, they are looking for the next position. So telling us he's going to consult his wife and all of those things is just like what we say in meetings, all protocols duly observed. But you will still have to do what you have to do.
Okay, there is a common theme with former governors in particular where they claim not to be afraid of the EFCC. We've heard it from former Governor Nyesom Wike. I think
Otom said the same thing.
Otom said that as well. You know, from time to time when a person is leaving office, they usually say, oh, I'm more than willing to have the EFCC come and look. That statement, does it come from a dysfunction of the system?
Yes. Nobody would have said that in 2007. Nobody would have said that in 2011. But from 2015 till date, nobody's afraid of EFCC. And I'll tell you from a personal perspective. Personally, I feel Nigeria lost it when the outgone administration pardoned Jolly Yame and Joshua Dare of Plateau State. We tried to nail Ibori in Nigeria. For want of evidence, he escaped justice in Nigeria. But the same issue was the same issue that he was jailed for abroad. And here in Nigeria, then we did, was it plea bargain or whatever? He served a portion of it abroad and then came back and was heavily celebrated. Now, eventually we had an EFCC that was able to secure judgments against Joshua Darie, against Joliyame of Taraba, and then I think Ojuzo Kalu. And for whatever reason, on technical ground, we were told that Ojuzo, the judge didn't have the right or the power to make the judgment, or it was a technical ground that Oji was released. And then we say, okay, fine. At least some good governors now know that they can go to jail if they don't serve the people well. And from nowhere, Federal Executive Council granted pardon. The people who need pardon are in Port Harcourt prison. Those who were probably picked on the street because they were in a viewing center in the night and were charged with fictitious crime, and then they have been there because their family can afford a lawyer. Those are the kind of people that need pardon. But today we have people who were officially convicted, who didn't go through the appeal process. Imagine if they had gone through the appeal and the appeal court said, oh, the lower court was wrong. That would have been a lot easier for us to understand. But outright pardon. And they are free today. So which governor will not be afraid? All you need to do is get into prison, let your guys outside do the lobbying for you. If they're able to get to the president to grant pardon, which is well within the president's rights, by the way. But you see, corruption cases should not, because corruption cases have serious consequence on the people, even though it's not direct armed robbery.
So with what you're saying, Ike Ekweremadu has no hope.
Well, in the case of Ike Ekweremadu, it's neither here nor there. In UK, we to a large extent, people believe that justice is served. If that case was in Nigeria, Sam, your guess is as good as mine.
No, I'm not guessing anything. I'm asking questions.
Well, as to speak, is hopeless. Because if people look at what was going on, National Assembly, Nigerian National Assembly, writing to the government of the United Kingdom, asking them to release someone who has been proven by their own laws guilty.
No, not release per se. It is stating the
why
the relevance of such a man, his contribution
above the law
to the Commonwealth, what he has done. You know, it's like, hey, listen, Ijioma, we know he's guilty of this, but Ijioma was.
Can I share a short personal story with you, Sam?
No, that personal story might it's all the ones you have shared has put us where we are now.
No,
Ijioma is responsible for the scholarship scheme that has, helped a lot of Rivers youth.
That's not where I'm going.
He's a man about town.
Please, Sam, just give me a minute. Look at this.
All right.
3 years ago, my daughter was born with a hole in the heart.
Oh my!
And she's 4 today, Amanda. And then we needed to do the surgery. We were actually planning to take her abroad. And then she was, we were told to check out UNTH Enugu. And when we got there, lo and behold, it was possible to have the surgery done there.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome.
And the surgery was done there. Like I said, she's 4 now. And UNTH is less than 15 kilometers from Ekweremadu's village. So I am imagining that this service to humanity that you are referring to, that he has done for us as Deputy Senate President for 12 years or 8 years, if he had just built a kidney transplant center, probably would have taken more than maybe 6 4-bedroom bungalow.
If
inside that UNTH, and it's possible for everybody in Enugu, east of the Niger, to come to Enugu for kidney transplant.
Ijioma, I'm not putting down.
We won't be discussing this issue now.
I'm not putting down our systems. I'm not doing that.
I didn't put. No. I just promoted our sister. I told you that he had surgery was done for my daughter at UNT.
Yes. So I'm saying that because it's going to lead to the next thing I'm going to say.
All right, I'm listening.
If you had the capacity to have her do the surgery in any part of the world, it wouldn't bother you financially. It would cost, like, to you, it wouldn't be like anything happened. Would you have still gone to UNTH?
It's a two-way traffic. See, I'm pan-Nigeria.
You have access to the best. India,
if it was possible
UK,
in Nigeria,
Spain.
I wouldn't go abroad. Sam, take it from me. Anybody who knows me knows that. I am pan-Nigeria. I believe strongly in Nigeria. I've done everything Nigeria. So my answer is, if I find out that it can be done in Nigeria, I will not go abroad. I won't. That is why I have not relocated till now. That is why I believe in the process. Even as weak as the system is, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. Anybody who knows me knows that how much I love Nigeria.
Okay. 08179230002. 08179230003. 08179230007 and 08179230009. We've discussed two topics so far. The governor of Rivers State says it is a Christian state and the relevance of former public office holders. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, what's your name?
Good morning to your guest, Eleka, speaking from Oko.
Go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
I've been listening to your conversation.
That's the plan. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please. Yep.
Do you know that both Nigerians are very far from anything that is called Nigeria? Both Nigerians are being chased away. They don't get closer to the cookie jar. That is the problem we are facing in Nigeria. Nigeria will start getting better the day good Nigerians start getting closer to the cookie jar. Apart from that, our prayers, all of them are defeat because we keep on praying to God to come down as though is God a magician? We need to start to change. Let's pray. If we fail in the present, what about our governors, state legislatures, the local government elections? Have we voted credible people? We are the problem of Nigeria. Politicians are secondary to our problem. It is the day we start to change. That is when Nigeria will start getting better. Look at your back. Look at the squad coming from your back. Tell me the percentage of fathers and mothers that have good morals, that has been impacting good morals to their children. See some with younger people. You said that Nigeria is not making any headway. We have to start to change to make a better society. The man in your studio, what he has said, I love it so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Keep those calls coming in. Hello, good morning. All right, call back if you can. 08179230002 and 08179230003. The River State Governor says this is a Christian state and we're looking at the relevance of former office holders. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, what's your name?
My name is Blessed from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, Blessed.
Yeah. I agree with your guest also.
Good morning, sir.
The issue of Rivers State is a Christian state. We have been hearing that issue during the tenure of former governor of Rivers State, Wike. Rivers State is a state where it's free for you to practice your religion. It's not good for us that to say this state is a kind of state that where the Christian are it's state of Christian. Muslims can do their religion. Likewise, African religion can still perform their own religion. So I'm trying to understand something that, after the Dokubo is a Muslim, and I said that you cannot be pronounced Rivers State as a Muslim state. So it's against its own belief. So definitely, we have free movement of religion, freedom of religion, right? So everybody should know that the state, if you are a Christian, welcome. If you are a Muslim, welcome. Likewise, traditional religion, you are welcome. So that's all about that. Right. Secondly, in terms of former governor of Rivers State, Wike, that is going to consult his wife and his friend pertaining the appointment from federal. No matter it is, let's talk about Nigeria. We are talking about Nigeria, a situation whereby where Nigeria be focusing again. See our current president now. He said what we need to do. He meet with the Labour Party and the NNP Party and the PDP Party in the lawmakers. Said let's talk how Nigeria be functioning. We should forget about the party or party B. So if Wike appoint as a minister, we should not criticize him because what we are there for is for us to make Nigeria be good again. see what we are talking about in terms of the 12 subsidy of removal. Every governor, both APC, PDP, or Labour Party, they support the removal.
Thank you very much. I have to move on now. Hello, good morning. Oh my. All right, call back if you can. Now, still on the relevance of former public office holders, where does the influence of elder statesman come in?
The elder statesman is now the leader, the first two categories of leaders I mentioned earlier, which has to do with the gerontocrats, who are by virtue of their age, and then the leadership by influence. So if the elder statesman, while in office or in business, made a lot of relationship impact on people, that one can now begin to speak for the positional leader who is currently in office. So how does the elder statesman, they have them, we have them all over Africa, all over Nigeria. Formal this, formal that.
Exactly.
Formal this. So,
you're giving an objective definition to elder statesman, but in the Nigerian context, it's almost as if it's a way to define former presidents and former.
No.
Once a person has held office and come out, we are elder statesman.
Raymond Dokpesi of blessed memory.
Yeah.
I can't remember him holding any political office. But
PDP chieftain, of course, businessman in media, but he was never
PDP
really.
chieftain is as a result of his influence being a media mogul, right? But you can't deny his influence in Nigeria from Edo State up onto Abuja.
Okay.
So if somebody like Dokpesi, when PDP was in government, could speak for Sam to say, Mr. President, I know one guy in Port Harcourt. His name is Samora. He can do this, and that. And you could see people who Dokpesi have made that are not necessarily in political office. Apart from Dayo, who became commissioner in Ogun State. Remember the crew of, what's the name of that show again? Back then. And they are still there. All of them today are media moguls as a result of Dokpesi's influence. Dokpesi qualifies for an elder statesman.
Okay.
Because he's not had any position per se, but because of his business acumen and influence, he's able to build other people. So elder statesmen are those who can speak for you in places where you can't get to.
We have another break coming up, but very quickly, still on the political career of Nyesom Wike. He wanted to go for the presidency, did not win the primaries, lost to Atiku. Atiku picked a running mate. He also hoped that he would, have made that. He lost to Okowa.
That's all we're told, yes.
He lost to Okowa. And, somehow now there's nothing on the table for him unless he is appointed. Do you think Wike would have fared better if he had run for Senate instead of presidency?
Ian Wike would have made a good senator as an opposition senator.
Okay.
Being in PDP. Imagine the scenario.
Would he have easily won that election?
Yes. As of today, PDP won the 3 in Rivers State.
Okay.
So he would have just been one of them. You understand? And he would have been a fantastic opposition leader. Maybe minority leader in the National Assembly, speaking for PDP. You understand? But, politics is a lot of calculation. Sometimes you arrive at the wrong answer, even if your processes are right. So...
That is a dysfunctional system. That's a really bad system that gives you wrong answer from the right formula.
Yes, because politicians have a lot of faith. They believe in the impossible. It is we, the followers, who doubt. The average politician just believe that anything can happen. They are people full of faith. So no matter how you look at it, former Governor Nyesom Wike would have made a very good opposition leader as a PDP senator.
Well, coming up next after the break, of course, and very quickly, we talk about whether or not it's too early to have an assessment of President Tinubu's 1 week in office. Please stay with us.